Are you somebody who walks by people in premium economy and business class, and you're just super envious of all that space they have for the flight ahead?
What do you think, you're better than me?
You may be about to head out on a very long flight and looking into options such as premium economy, but you're mortified at the prices that Air Canada charges. These flights can get extremely expensive, which is the reason I've never flown in any other class but economy. But Andy and I were in the right place at the right time, checking flights, and we actually got an amazing deal using our Aeroplan points for a premium economy direct flight to Japan on the Boeing 777-300 and on the way back the 787-9. So in this video, I'm giving you my brutally honest review, and by the end, you'll know if it's worth the price and if it's right for you for your flight. Before I begin, I wanted to let you know we have a ton of videos coming up over the next 2 months, including a video on crucial tips on how to have the best vacation possible in Japan. So make sure you're subscribed. It's totally free and it really helps the channel grow. So let's start with the experience of arriving to the airport. You actually get your own priority check-in place at Terminal 1 at Pearson Airport. So instead of going left and going all the way down to the Air Canada check-in counter, you actually want to head all the way right. That is where the priority check-in is. It's a really nice area with a lot less people, and they get you through really quick. So one of the great perks about this priority check-in experience is the priority baggage tag that your luggage gets. What this means is they will actually load your luggage into the plane last so that it comes out first when you arrive at your destination. That means you're waiting a lot less time at the baggage carousel because your bags come out in priority order. This is especially amazing when you have a really long flight and all you want to do is get to the hotel and have a rest. So one thing that's not included in the ticket, and it really surprised me given the price range, is the Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge access. Now, Andy and I have lounge access through our credit card provider, so it wasn't a big deal for us. We were going there anyway, but the only way for premium economy to get the lounge access is to pay a $49 fee. We have been in the US Maple Leaf Lounge countless times at Pearson Airport. It is quite busy and just rammed with people all the time. Now, what I will say is the international lounge is a lot more spacious. There's more of a calm and relaxed vibe to it because most of the people in there are headed out on vacation, whereas the US lounge, a lot of them are actually on business. The food was actually pretty good for lounge food, and of course there is self-serve alcohol, which is great for nervous flyers like myself.
I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party!
The staff were friendly enough. If you needed something like club soda, which they always seem to run out of, they were more than happy to oblige and get it for you. There were some family rooms, and obviously we didn't go into them and we didn't film them, but it's good to know that this is offered for you. Now, we obviously don't film in restrooms, but what I can tell you is it's no different than any other airport bathroom. It is absolutely disgusting. I really wish these premium lounges would put more of a focus on cleanliness. And I would say too that a lot of the Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge bathrooms need to be renovated. Are there any airport lounges that actually have nice washrooms? I'm legitimately curious. Let me know in the comments below. So overall, the lounge experience is fine. And I would say that it is worth the $49. So for me, like I said, I'm a nervous flyer, so I like to have a few drinks before a flight. And if I did that in an airport lounge, it would likely end up costing a similar amount of money, but I do wish that it was included in the price. Now on to the actual flight experience. We boarded our Boeing 777-300, eagerly anticipating what our seats were going to look like. The seats are fairly standard, but they are obviously a lot more spacious than what you would get in economy class. Now, if you're comparing it to business class, you are going to be disappointed. Andy kept having to remind me that economy is still in the name. The TV screen on the seat is just marginally larger than the one you'll find in economy, and it does does come with a pull-out remote. Now there is a footrest, which is a nice touch, but I do wish that the seats recline just a bit more. The pocket to store your items is extremely small, smaller than that in economy. There were 2 outlets to charge your devices that were not attached to the screens. And there's even a small table between the seats where you can keep your drinks or your snacks. Any additional space you can get at your seat on an airplane, especially for those long flights, is a huge plus. So included in this seat was a small bottle of water and an amenity kit with a toothbrush, toothpaste, a sleep mask, and a long pair of socks. As usual, you will find a small pillow and a blanket, as well as some of those cheapy airline headphones. All of these items were very poor quality, but it is nice to have them when you're on that long flight. So on the 777-300, there is no restroom for premium economy people to use up front. You do have to go a little ways back to the economy section. Once boarding was complete, the flight attendants handed us a hot towel. They also offered us a welcome drink. For any flights that are international, especially, you are offered free alcohol no matter what your fare class is. But if you're in economy, they're obviously not offering everybody a drink beforehand because that would take far too long. But premium economy, because there's so few seats up there, they do offer that, which is very nice. I want to preface this by saying we were on the last flight out before the pilots were supposed to go on strike.
On this Saturday, a midnight deadline looms for Air Canada and its pilots. Can they reach a deal to avoid a strike?
So for our flight to Narita, the staff were not friendly. I think that staff had other things on their mind other than serving customers, and that probably led to maybe a lack of quality in service. So I'm not holding it against them, but I just wanted to throw out there that the service levels are not what you expect based on the price that you're paying. So about 1.5 to 2 hours into our flight, we were served our first meal. We pre-selected this months in advance. So our 2 options were curry dish or a chicken parm. Now, because we were flying to Japan, we opted for the curry dish. The meal was actually served on real plates, real bowls, and had real utensils for us to use. The meal was decent, except for that roll that they give you on Air Canada flights, which is always super cold, really tough to eat. A few hours later, they came through the cabin with a snack, and there was no selection. You were just handed a tuna wrap. I didn't even know what I was getting handed. They didn't bother letting us know. I'm really confused by that because what if somebody has allergies to something? I don't actually eat tuna, but based on what Andy told me and the fact that I've had a million of these snacks on Air Canada's flights, it's not very good. Now, breakfast was served roughly 2 hours before we landed at Narita, and it was back to plastic plates and wooden forks for us. No real cutlery, no real plates or bowls. The 2 options for breakfast were a noodle dish or an omelet. Now, I'm a bit picky when it comes to ingredients in my food, so I asked the flight attendant what was in the omelet, and he had absolutely no idea, nor did he care. He looked at it, he said, red sauce and maybe cheese. Here you go. So this goes for all airlines, for all class fares. The staff should know what's in the food, and they should be able to tell you, or at least make an effort to tell you. This entire meal was absolutely horrible, except for the fruit, which was actually very fresh. Now, once we landed at Narita, our bags were some of the first to come out, which was amazing because we were exhausted. So again, that's a really nice perk of having that priority bag tag. Now, that was our flight to Narita. We flew back from Haneda Airport on the 787-9 Dreamliner. I am not going to go into detail about this because it was pretty much the exact same flight, exact same seats, exact same offerings. Now, some of the differences were the staff was much friendlier. There actually is a washroom really close to premium economy at the front, and it is very spacious and has a window. And the 787 Dreamliner overall is just a nicer aircraft, especially because people can't control their windows. It's all automatic. So if it's nighttime for everyone on the plane, nobody can open their shutter and let in a ton of sunlight and disrupt everyone on the plane. It is controlled by the staff. Okay, so now for my final thoughts. So here's the thing. These flights are extremely expensive. Andy and I were fortunate enough to get a killer deal with our Aeroplan points for this. So in total, each we paid 104,000 Aeroplan points. That is roughly $1,500 for a round trip flight each. However, if you look at how much this ticket would cost using cash, I could not find this flight for less than $3,000. And the average was actually $4,300. There was one flight at Christmas that was $11,000 for premium economy. If I paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $11,000 for this flight, there is no way I would tell you it's worth it. So $1,500, I would say yes, it is worth it for that extra space and that extra added perk. And there you have it. Now you have an idea if Air Canada Premium Economy is for you and your next flight. What do you think? Is it worth the extra amount of money to upgrade? Let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.